Oh, Ziyech has gone already. Damn, I didn't even know it happened. Sorry, I missed that one. So Ziyech has already gone. So that's £5 million off of that 20 million differential straight away. Fair play. Thanks for reminding me on that, people. In terms of Chelsea, I want to ask you, they're linked now with a move for Mohamed Kudus. There's talk that the hijack is on by Ben Jacobs. Many believe there's a few rumors from Fabrizio that a big club could come in for him. Do you think that's what they're talking about Balogun and Brennan Johnson and Mohamed Kudus? Who do you think they should be going to that add those goals? Because we certainly know that Chelsea have got to add goals to their team.
I can't fucking work Chelsea out. I just can't. I just leave them to it. I don't mind them spending the money. I think, if they want to spend it, spend it. I'm all for it. If that's what you want to do, go and do it. Great. But it just looks like a mismatch of madness there. I don't see where they're going. And then Pochettino's in there now. He's got no excuse. He's had that much money to spend. He's got all them players at his disposal. Go and coach him. They told us all these years that Poch was this great coach and how he can coach these young players and do this and do that. Okay, I don't believe that. But people might believe that. Now he's got to prove it. They've given him everything he wants. Romeo Lavia, Saicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Badiashile, whatever he's called. Look at the players they've got at his disposal. Young, hungry, up-and-coming players from all around the world, £900 million worth, all put together on a training pitch. Now you're this coach, and you only coach young players. That's what they said at Tottenham. He's a brilliant coach. Go and fucking coach him then. Do you know what I mean? Because at Paris Saint-Germain, when you had Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, you didn't do nothing there. And they wanted you out of there. The fans thought it was stinky and shit. And then he got blamed. Well, he's a manager that likes coaching players. He's not into egos and that. He can't manage egos. He likes to coach young players. Well, fucking go and coach them then, innit? That's what I'm saying. Don't keep saying, I need a new striker and I need this. Look at the players he's got. Get a system. Go and coach your players. You've got more players than any team have got there now. So go and coach him, innit? I don't feel sorry for him. I don't care what they buy, but it just seems like as soon as they lose a game, they didn't score, they need a striker, let's go and grab a striker. The defence was shit, so let's go and get another centre-back. It's like, I thought he was the man, the best young coach in the world. He never had a chance and all that. So I'm expecting him to coach the shit out of him and turn him into a top team. But he won't.
You don't think Poch is going to make this team one of the best teams in England, one of the best teams in Europe?
No. Anyone that watched the Big Six show, over the years, I told you there's 3 people in football that are frauds. 3 of them. Yeah? Pochettino, Bielsa, Tommy Tuchel. Absolute fucking shite, all 3 of them. Right? And I was proved right because up until recently, they were all on the fucking dole. Tommy Tuchel will get sacked at Bayern Munich because he's not good enough. Pochettino will get sacked at Chelsea because he'll blame it that there was too many players got brought in and he didn't know what he was doing. And Bielsa's sat on a bucket somewhere while his team's getting beat 8-0 and doesn't give a fuck. So, I'm right. So that's my opinion. And they're the 3 frauds in football. So whether you like it or not, whether the chat likes it, whether you want to talk nonsense, I'm just telling you that is true. And I'll be proven right.
I feel like, listen, I agree with you 100% on Bielsa. I never understood the hype. People used to call him a great manager.
Because Pep come out one day and said he was a good coach and he looked up to him. That automatically then, he's the best in the world.
The love affair around Bielsa, I remember once some Leeds fan phoned in to talk sport and he was like, he's so great. Why is he great? He went, whenever he's in the street, he says hello to people. And do you know where he lives? And I went, where? He goes, he lives above a greasy spoon cafe. And I was like, why does that make him a good manager? It made no sense. Tuchel, I understand where you're coming from. With Poch, though, this is his big chance. I think he will turn Chelsea into a top team. You can already see the blueprint of how they're trying to play. They're just struggling still to put that ball into the back of the net. And I think Jackson looks tasty, but they do need to add more goals. The problem is, listen, I think Mohamed Kudus is a player they should sign. He's so good. He's so good and he's got output within him, but he's more of an attacking midfielder or can play out wide. He's not really a number 9. Brennan Johnson's been linked to them. That's a madness for me. That is a madness. He's quick and he's pacey, but he is not going to bang the goals in for you.
No.
Balogun might score goals because he looks like a bagsman, but again, he's unproven at Premier League level. The only thing that I would say that there's still a big question mark over Chelsea on is £1 billion spent and they don't have a top-class number 9. That's the reason why there's no
what we're
way...
What we're forgetting here, they've got a £100 million striker in Romelu Lukaku.
He's dog
Doesn't
breath.
matter, because if Manchester City were going out there now saying we need a striker and we had a £100 million one sat in the back room cleaning his boots, people would be calling Manchester City a disgrace. So you can't come on here, the Chelsea fans, and say we need a striker when you've got a £100 million one sat there. They paid £100 million for him, nobody else. So the reason he hasn't got a striker is because the one in the back room cost 100 mil. But nobody wants to talk about it. He's just forgot about him. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. The energy's got to be consistent because Manchester City get the shit all the time. And when you actually look at the spending, our spending's fucking class. And the way we spend our money is brilliant. So you can't compare. But they can just throw 100 million at a striker and then go and say, we need another striker. We ain't got one.
It's the thing is, though, but that isn't on Poch, though. That isn't even on this new ownership.
He's got enough money. Why don't he coach it out of him? Why don't he bring him back to Chelsea, put his arm around him, tell him I'm Pochettino and I'm the bollocks and let's start playing?
But he ain't good enough.
He was good enough the other year when he spent 100 million because he was banging them in.
If that was the case, though, why did you buy Edison and not just coach Claudio Bravo to be better?
Because I'm not Pochettino and we don't coach players. We got Pep. Pep does his shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying, though, like, listen, I get where you're coming from, but listen, Lukaku ain't good enough. Lukaku is nowhere near good enough in the Premier League. He has never delivered at one of the top clubs here consistently enough. He always falls off. He was never worth £100 million. It was a colossal mistake from Roman Abramovich, Marina, and I think it was Tuchel with the management at the time. They should never have done it. The question mark is still there. Are they going to score enough goals? If they had a number 9, or say Harry Kane level, they could challenge you for this league title straight away this season. They could get that good that quickly. I think they're going to make Champions League football, though. I think they'll become a very good footballing team this year. But where I agree with you is there's still big question marks over whether or not Poch can get them over the line to win those major trophies in a big league, because he's never done that. And he never won a trophy in England. And I think that's why he's got to take the cup really seriously this year to kind of get that monkey off of his back and try and win a trophy. So that's it. Other than that, I think they're building something quite nice. And I know they lost to West Ham 3-1. But I just feel like, I don't know, that scoreline seemed to flatter West Ham a little bit. They'll be buzzing with it. They won't care. But I actually couldn't believe. I was a little bit baffled. At the end of the game, I was like, how has this happened? Chelsea was so good for so long, but it was putting the ball in the back of the net. But I think they'll get better, in my opinion. There's
no excuse for it. There's no excuse. You spend that kind of money. No one's going to... If Pochettino turns them into a class team, is anyone going to give him any credit for it?
Why would they not?
They're going to say, well, so what? That's what happens at City, right?
We
win a trophy and people say, well, you should do with your money you spent. So Chelsea win a trophy, they should do with the money they spent, shouldn't they? That's the narrative online, isn't it? That's what comes at me every day.
Why are you being so bitter?
I'm not being bitter. Listen, I got to deal with the shit off knobheads every day. Same thing. Yeah, we should win the treble the money you spent. Should win the Premier League the money you spent. Well, is that not the same for Chelsea now?
KJ, can we send Steve some cheese and crackers to go with these sour grapes? He's fuming.
Listen, I'm not fuming. We've won 2 out of 2. We just won the Super Cup. We've won the treble. How can I be fuming? I'm just saying consistency is key. If you want to come at me about spending money, then where's the same energy for Chelsea? Surely going to win the league, right?
I understand from Chelsea fans. That's why I don't participate in the school playground banter like that personally. I know what you're doing. I understand where you're coming from. Look, they've got to be expected to start winning things over the coming years. They have to with what they've spent. There's no doubt about it. I'm going to have the same energy for them as I do all of the top clubs. Equally, I don't call your manager a checkbook manager. This nonsense that I actually think it's sometimes harder to spend money and win because it puts more pressure on you. When you're spending what City have spent, what United have spent, what Chelsea have spent, there is a huge amount of pressure to deliver. So I think it makes it a harder job in some respects than being the plucky underdog that everybody's rooting for. They give the Leicester one that
it's money well spent. Manchester City's money divided into trophies is money well spent. So I don't care. Like I say, but what I'm saying with Chelsea is let's have the same energy for it, because if we was doing it, Pep said in the press conference last week, we can't do what Chelsea done because you'd kill me. And is he right? Of course he's right, because we're winning. Because if we win and spend 900 million, everyone says it's not fair. Manchester City are doing this, they're doing this. But Chelsea can do it until they start winning. Then when Chelsea start winning, everyone will start moaning again. Oh, look what Chelsea done. Yeah, well, and this is what I'm saying. So it's all right. Everyone feeling a bit sorry for Chelsea now, but
who feels sorry? No one feels sorry for Chelsea. I don't think anybody feels sorry for Chelsea.
I've just seen everyone crying in the chat. Apparently, it's because of Porto. I don't like Chelsea, but Porto, I got over Porto a long time ago. We've won many a trophy since Porto.
I was going to ask, is your hatred of Chelsea and Tuchel because they dunked on you in the Champions League final? Is that what it is?
Nah, listen, I don't mind Chelsea as a football club. And on the Big Six, when the Abramovich thing happened, I stuck up for Chelsea because certain people on there said they wanted Chelsea to go out of business. And I said, I don't want that for a football club. And I stuck up for it because I don't. Have I had arguments with Chelsea in the past with the Gremlins and that? Of course I have. But they know I've always been fair. When they beat us in Porto, I went in every single Chelsea channel and stood there, let them take it out of me because they deserved the Champions League. They deserved it. But what I'm saying is, all I'm seeing recently is a different energy towards spending than what we get. And that's all I'm saying. I'm here to defend Manchester City and talk about my experiences. So all I'm saying is, with the money Chelsea spent, with the excuses Pochettino's had over the years about him not being able to manage egos, he only likes young players, that should be a perfect mix for Chelsea to win the league, right?
It needs to be. That someone in the comments, Twisted, said, Terry, you've been fooled by money spent. I'm not being fooled by money spent. I'm simply stating they've spent enough money on players they believe are good enough to turn them into title winners and champions of Europe. So the expectation is to go and do it. If after 18 months we realize they're not good enough, I won't expect Chelsea to win the league. And I will condemn how much they wasted on a squad of players that is not therefore good enough. But in the first instance, when a club buys their players, a big club like ours, you're buying these players with the hope of winning the league. So the expectation is if you buy and fill the holes, you've got to try and win it. Simple as that. Some super chats here.